Alright guys, so in this video I will be telling you a secret to looking many years younger, feeling many years younger, acting and behaving to others many years younger. Basically making yourself more youthful. And this is a totally natural process, doesn't require any drugs or chemicals or weird things. And you may just be wondering, what is it? How is this even possible? Well, basically, here's how I found out about it. I was reading this great book. It's called The Happiness Advantage, and in it, it cites a amazing scientific study. Basically, they took a lot of these very old men and they told them, okay, for the next week, we're going to send you to this retreat. And in this retreat, we have recreated a environment where it is exactly like it was when you were young. So this was like in the 1940s or something like that. And in this environment, there are certain rules you all have to follow. You have to act like you are actually in that time, and you have to act like you are that young. In addition to that, you cannot reference anything past that time. So anything past 1940s, you can't reference it. You have to literally act like you are in that time right now. And everything in that whole environment, you know, all the newspapers and stuff were in that time. So they couldn't reference anything, and they literally had to act like they were young and that old again. And guess what happened? Everything changed after this whole week-long retreat. Basically, what occurred was that the pictures based off anonymous, blind surveys of these people before and after the retreat, they looked many years younger. And other surveys show that they seemed and they acted, they behaved, everything. They seemed many years younger. So again, how can you apply that to your own life? Perhaps you don't have to go to that extreme. Perhaps you can't go to that extreme of recreating your environment. Perhaps you can. Maybe it's just little things like acting and small subtle perspective changes, and just thinking and acting in sharp, quick-witted ways where you had a much younger, fresher, quick mind. I do think that a lot of elderly people, they sort of use their age as a crutch, or their situation, or their higher levels of income and wealth and I guess comfort as a crutch to not exercise their mind and have to think. They choose not to do math, they choose not to do memory games or anything like that because they can. And therefore, I see it all the time, they start slowly regressing and aging, and their mind gets duller and slower. So think about it. It's not just mind games or brain exercises either. That obviously helps. And again, those have been proven through scientific studies to help as well. There's this great book on it. It lists this in the book. It's called 50 Secrets of the Longest Living People. But more so than that, just small things that you can do. So for me, I'm still fairly young, but I guess ideally I can look a few years back and just think, I was a lot less knowledgeable then, but I could still think of how maybe how young I was, how able I was, how quick I was, how ambitious I was, and all this stuff, and just think of how I acted and thought and behaved during that time. And behaviors and how you move and talk are huge. So think about it. Again, take this with a grain of salt. So some things you want to keep. For instance, a lot of body movement changes, a lot of posture and confidence, things I've picked up in my body language and how I walk and stuff. I guess you want to keep that, but other things perhaps you want to stick around and keep and think about. And this can affect you tremendously. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.